Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be reacting to more Dom Doggo. I haven't reacted to his video for a while, so let's get started.
The other day, looking at all these cool rock formations on display. You know, there was spiky rocks and goopy rocks, but when I made it all the way to the bottom,
Why did you do it like that?
So it didn't make any sense. It was a rock, but it was like someone had created perfectly machined metallic cubes and fused them into it. Now, this is strange, because this was supposed to be a natural formations display, and these cubes were obviously human-made. Am I the only one who thinks that? Like, am I dumb? Well,
Your YouTube channel is literally Dom Doggo, so what do you think? I'm not being rude.
but turns out it wasn't fake. So naturally, my next question was, what sorcery is this? Impossibly perfect-shaped rocks. The cubes are called pyrite, and despite looking like a metal, it's actually a crystal. And in a specific mine in Spain, you can literally pull these perfect shiny cubes right out of the cave wall.
Are these worth something or are they kind of worthless?
Okay, but how did these form in the first place? Well, if you zoom in, you'll see that pyrite is made of the elements iron and sulfur. Initially, they float around as ions in hot water underground, and as the fluid cools, opposite charges attract and they begin to crystallize. When forming crystals, atoms like to arrange themselves in a lattice, which is a repeating arrangement that keeps the crystal stable. The simplest repeating pattern in a lattice is called the unit cell, and it just so happens that the unit cell for pyrite is a perfect cube. But it looks really complicated like this, so let's just stuff it all into a box and think of it as a cube-shaped Lego brick. In the right environmental conditions, these Lego bricks build up evenly, layer by layer, resulting in a fake-looking cube. And sometimes
The more you know, facts every day.
you can even get multiple pyrite cubes growing in each other.
Also, make sure to like, share, subscribe to see more of my amazing videos. And make sure to subscribe to Dom Doggo as well. Give credit to him. So that's why
Leading to all sorts of cool designs. But a cubic unit
Save the custom pause. Just to say that there might be a few adverts up, so I will pause the video so the adverts can skip.
cell doesn't necessarily mean you'll get a cubic crystal, like in the case of garnet, where different environmental conditions make it form perfect dodecahedrons instead. And cubic crystals aren't even rare in nature, like if you look really closely, table salt is cubic. Anyways, I'm convinced that you're real now. Wait a minute. If this crazy looking rock was right under my nose the whole time, what else are you hiding under there?
HBO Max is included with.
Yeah, did that Earth just put out a music note? Oh, now you know where music comes from.
Musical rocks.
And the rocks that make music or
Actual areas of the world, there are fields of rocks that can sing. They're called ringing rocks, and when you strike them with a hammer, they ring out like a bell. Using these, ancient civilizations would make an instrument called a lithophone, which is basically a rock xylophone. But there's some debate about why these rocks actually ring. One informal study from the 1960s cut up both a ringing rock and a normie rock, and after measuring the initial dimensions, they waited a bit and then measured them again. The normie rock, well, stayed normie. There was no change in size, but the ringing rock actually expanded a little, indicating that there were some internal stresses that were released after the rock was cut. And the theory is that these internal stresses
you said the gas free. What if that gas was dangerous though? Air probably was just air.
are what causes the rocks to ring. It's also been found that rocks with higher internal stresses ring at higher frequencies. So maybe if you want a higher note, you need to stress out the rock more. But
Imagine you just keep hitting the rock it's so hard and so fast at the point that it actually just explodes.
Unfortunately, people kinda suck, and most of the smaller ringing rocks from these rare areas have been stolen. And it gets even worse. There's only boulder-sized ringing rocks left. But this hasn't stopped people from taking chunks of them home as souvenirs. The annoying part is, breaking these rocks releases the stresses inside them, meaning they lose their musical ability permanently. You gotta take care of the earth, people. Like, treat it nicely.
Yeah, treat it
What?
nice. Dom Doggo, what are you doing? Going up. We'll save you. Somehow. But Dom Dog is too OP.
Glowing rocks. Under visible light, some rocks appear normal, but under ultraviolet light, they glow. How cool is that? Glowing rocks have special atoms in them. Glowing rocks.
So, how do you
Under
like it?
visible light, some rocks appear normal, but under ultraviolet light, they glow.
Dom Doggo, why are you glowing? Did you eat one of the rocks? Cause there's no reason for you to be glowing like that. Not gonna check dogs on bioluminescent or something. Sorry about that, guys.
They glow. How cool is that? Glowing rocks have special atoms in them called activators, and when UV light shines on one, the energy excites an electron, causing it to jump to a higher energy level temporarily. But after a fraction of a second, the electron loses its energy and falls back down to its original energy level. As it does, it releases the extra
Sorry, let me get this straight. Basically, just get electrocuted just for it to lose energy and be forced to go back.
energy as a photon of visible light. And because there's millions and billions of these activator atoms all releasing photons at the exact same time, your eyeball perceives this as a glowing rock. This property is called fluorescence, and I have a really hard time spelling the last half of that word. The color of the glow depends on the chemical element of the activator atom. For example, manganese activators cause red glows like in calcite, uranium activators cause green glows like in audenite, and molybdenum activators cause blue glows like in scheelite. But fluorescent rocks lose their glow when the UV light is turned off. But there are some rocks that keep glowing without it. The property is called phosphorescence, and it works in a similar way to fluorescence, but instead of the excited electron falling back down quickly, it gets stuck at the higher level. This is due to something called a forbidden transition, which sounds quite ominous, but basically due to quantum rules, the electron holds on to that extra energy longer and releases it slowly over time. So you get a sustained, continual glow until the electron eventually drops down to its original energy level. This is what's used in glow-in-the-dark stickers, and it also explains why they eventually died over time. But did you know that you could recharge them if you use a blacklight torch? And it doesn't stop here. Glowing rock speed round. Thermoluminescence causes rocks to
Yeah, I know you'll take that message as a joke, but no, Dom Doggo. He probably is.
glow when you heat them up. Although, most objects will eventually glow if you heat them up enough. Triboluminescence causes rocks to produce light when they're scratched or crushed, like sugar cubes, which produce a small flash of blue light when you smash them. Electroluminescence
Why would you do it like that? Dom Doggo, why?
causes rocks to glow when you electrocute them. And radioluminescence causes rocks to glow when they're bombarded by radioactive decay. So rocks can form perfect cool shapes, they can sing, they can glow. What else can they do?
Sure, whole body deodorant. Smell.
Again, sorry for the adverts. Like, anytime you see an ad, you can just skip it. And Dom Doggo, what are you doing to Earth again? Didn't you torture him enough? Leave Earth alone. You should be looking after Earth, not extracting every single rock from the whole body and probably making 10,000 sinkholes. Anyways, let's carry on.
Magnetic rocks. I like to put myself in the shoes of early humans coming across crazy phenomena in the world. Like, what would it be like to see lightning for the first time? Or discover fire? Or find out that these mystical rocks want to do this.
So super lightning that also be scary.
There are stories of ancient people thinking that magnetic rocks had some sort of life force or soul, which allowed them to attract other objects. We now know it's a type of iron ore called magnetite. Usually, it's just attracted to other magnets and doesn't do any of the attracting by itself. In very rare cases, though, the ore is permanently magnetized and doing the attracting. Okay, so how did this random rock become a magnet naturally? Well, for a magnet to be magnetized, it needs to be exposed to a strong magnetic field. And the Earth has a magnetic field, but it's way too weak to create a strong magnet. So instead, the theory is when magnetite is just chilling, minding it.
Wait, so does everything have a magnetic field? Or is it just like or if you like, let's say let's say like a planet is really ginormous, or they have a magnetic field, or are there some I don't know how to explain it, some I'll come back to you. There's some other things that the planet or whatever it is needs to have to make the magnetic field.
Business, it gets struck by lightning.
Oh no,
The strong magnetic fields of the lightning strike permanently magnetize the iron ore, creating something called a lodestone. This also explains why lodestones are quite rare and only occur near the surface. This lightning theory was also supported by a NASA dude's experiments, where he shocked some magnetite in a lab and artificially created a lodestone. At this point, I'm like, what can't rocks do? Like, next you're gonna tell me that some rocks are alive or something. Why have you on silent? Living!
I mean, the Earth in this case. If Earth is a giant rock, if you think about it, if life on it could be, and trees are alive, and we're alive, so would they count of being alive? And in this case, this is torturing Earth that's this human size, and this is speaking, screaming. Yeah, what do you think?
Rocks. Maybe. Around a small town in Romania called Castesti are a bunch of lumpy-looking rocks called trovins. They might look innocent and unassuming, but if you've lived in this town for long enough, you know that there's something fishy about them. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Some are tiny, some weigh several tons, and some are super-duper lumpy. In Romanian, the word trovin translates to growing stone, and they've been recorded to increase in size, especially after it rains. And their strange behavior has become a part of local myths, with them being thought of as dragon eggs. But when scientists cut one sample open, they didn't discover a dragon, but actually a bunch of ring layers instead, sort of like the growth rings of a tree. The theory is that because trovins are porous, meaning they have a lot of tiny holes inside them, they're able to absorb minerals from the rain. Over time, these minerals build up inside, creating outward pressure, forcing the rock to expand. This process is very, very slow, and the rocks are estimated to grow a whopping 4 centimeters every 1,000 years. So basically, every time it rains, it's sort of like the trovin's feeding time. But it doesn't end there. Sometimes the trovins grow a bulb, and with enough time, it can break off from the parent rock, creating a mini baby trovin. And then the baby trovin can grow too. So if you want a pet rock, a trovin is your best pick. Wait, actually no, leave them in Romania. Back, no touching! I didn't really know much about rocks before this, but I had a lot of fun learning about these little goobers. If you did...
And I've had a lot of fun watching your videos. I hope you guys have fun watching my videos. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.